Hi, this is Wyatt with Artistic Wire and Beadle-On. Today we're going to be using the Artistic Wire 3D bracelet jig. We're going to make an adjustable bangle and we're going to be hanging a little Christmas tree off of it. Christmas tree, of course, will be made with the Cone-tastic. So let's get started. Place one of the pegs into one of the openings at the very edge of the jig and then put in the little holder from the back. Then count, depending on the size of the wrist, either 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. If you don't know the size, I would go to 5 holes, 1 down, and 5 this direction. And then pop that on as well. Now, I like to use the hardest wire I have, and for this item, I'm going to be using the 18 gauge silver-filled wire. Now, this wire is nice and hard. It's actually a full half hard. The wire is manufactured in the United States, and we sell it in half-ounce packages. So you just lay this across here and grab and pull this around onto that peg. Then we're going to just wrap directly from the coil all the way around and then pull nice and tight right next to here and hold this and pull that around just like so. Now if you notice, I'm trying to cut very little wire off that I can so that we don't waste too much of the wire, because the silver-filled wire, of course, is 10% silver, and we don't want to waste it if we can possibly help it. So I'm going to trim this one up. Now you just pull the pins, just like so. And clear my area here. Now we were a little bit misshaped, so I have a fiber item that is 1 3/4 inches wide. This will help you to reshape this back on and get it at the right size. So again, this is a 1 3/4, and you just pull it nice and tight, and see that just takes it right back to round and puts this at almost halfway. So what we're going to do next is we need to flatten out these little ends, just like so. Flatten both of them. And then we're going to take with the curved chain nose pliers and make sure to hold on to both ends, and then just twist that so that it sticks directly up. And do the same thing over here. Twist this up just like that. Now we need to bend these in. So I'm going to grab here again and then just twist that at a right angle. Flip this one over, and this one's going to be at a right angle, just like the other one. Now that just hooks onto this wire, and this one flips in the back and hooks onto that wire. That's what's going to give us our adjustable bangle. And because the wire again is half hard, it's going to hold its shape quite well as you open this up to insert your fist and your wrist into it, and then that's going to come back down. So we want to just adjust this just a little bit. I want those to look just like the famous designer bracelet. Okay, so our bracelet is now ready. So for this one, we're going to put a Christmas tree. So I take a piece of a nice long piece of 18 gauge artistic wire in a green. Just insert it through here, and then we're just going to roll it. Keep twisting the Cone-tastic until you can start to see your tree to form. And you can make it as close together or as far apart as you'd like. It's kind of cool to have a little bit of a non-perfect tree, as most trees are. And then we're going to snip the top, right, just like that. We're also going to snip the bottom. And use the Cone-tastic. Great. Now we're going to squeeze this so that you have a little smaller hole at the top. Squeeze carefully because you don't want to damage the wire. Then the bottom, we'll take the round nose pliers and just grasp on the end and kind of bend this over right onto itself so we have a little loop there. Now we're going to move this loop directly, or as close to directly, into the center of the bottom of this little cone shape. just like so. So now we've virtually made a Christmas tree looking bead. So we want this to be flat. Just adjust that just a little bit and push it back down in there. And then the top we want to kind of squish that down just a little bit, just like so. Okay, now I'm going to use some 20 gauge artistic wire. And I'm going to use also a Swarovski cube bead. Make my own head pin. Very carefully just grasp the tip and then twist that over. Hold it carefully and squeeze that little loop down, just like so. Come back and cut right at where it starts to curve. So that will be what shows on the bottom of this cube bead. So that's what we have down there. So it's nice and finished. Then just run the wire up through the Christmas tree, from the bottom to the top, and voila, we have our Christmas tree. If you want to mash it down a little bit, you can mash it down to kind of get these a little bit more even. But again, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Then take down on the jaws of the round nose farther down so that our loop will be large. And just wrap this over, readjust, and complete that. So I will use my bracelet that we just made to loop this through. And again, using the curved chain nose. Now the curved chain nose is a great use for these because it can slip up in between there, and you can hold on to both edges of that wire and then just very carefully wrap this around until it tightens right down onto your tree bead. Just like so. Cut with the flush cutters facing what's going to stay there. And we now have a very small little tail right there that needs to be squeezed down. So just get your pliers very carefully under there and just on that and just squeeze it down. Now I also like to straighten this little bend in the wire here, so we want to put that down. I'm going to slide these pliers up in here, right next to there, and then just make one compression. And that kind of straightens that little loop up nicely and keeps it over in the same line as the tree, the center of the tree. So there you have a nice little gift item that can be used at the course of the holidays. You can also, for upcoming Valentine's Day, be able to put a Swarovski heart or any other type of heart that you'd like to just dangle off this. And of course, these are very collectible, and you can do a bunch of them. Here's another one that we did that just has a single little Swarovski. Now this is done with a much larger artistic wire. So the larger the wire, the more tension it's going to have. But this wire can be completely bent out of shape. So you just want to be a little bit careful and use the larger wires when you want to have a bigger look. So there you have another use for the Artistic Wire 3D bracelet jig to make great expandable bangle bracelets.